So apparently there's still some doubt around some of the realists in the room. I'm appalled. From Nero, they say, could Shiki Tono and Shiki Ryogi slice through a reality marble such as UB-Dub? I think they can slice all of Shero's projections like butter, but in something like UB-Dub, where the user has free reign over the rules, could that potentially nullify the eyes of depth perception, or could they slice through the marble and just end whoever set the marble in the first place? By the way, if you haven't already, what are you doing? Make sure you guys sign up for the Patreon. You get access to early content and priority on your request. You know something? I'm glad you asked this. There's been a lot of comparison between these characters over the years, and rightfully so. They are the lead characters of their respective series, so it's only natural for the fandom to try to pit them against each other. The thing about this is that there's a lot of people that blindly believe that once UB-Dub gets casted, that it'll be some type of a wipe, that it'll be automatic GGs, and they couldn't be more wrong. Now, in my Mystic Eye of Death video, we already went over the fact that both Shikis can in fact cut the intangible. They can cut through spells, mental attacks, diseases, telekinesis. I even showed in the video itself Tono destroying portions of a building just by stabbing it. But clearly all of that is not good enough. So what would be the case if that was a reality marble? Specifically Unlimited Blade Works, because we do know that they're all different. Listen, don't take my word for it. Let's go into the Tsukihime story itself, the CL route, where Tono is going against Arkaway. So in a part of this fight, you have the instance where Arkaway starts to dash toward him and Shiki literally stabs the ground and kills the nature that's around them. The man literally killed nature itself and nerfed Arkaway, because remember, Arkaway is a true ancestor. She's basically an extension of the earth. So by doing this, he made her vulnerable. He made one of the strongest creatures to exist in the Nasuverse vulnerable. That's not even my main point. That's just a byproduct. My main point is this. We all know how reality marbles work, and we know that they usually take an absurd amount of energy. Now, in terms of magical energy, you got the odd that comes from the inside of your body, and you got the mana that comes from the outside, the mana that comes from the earth itself. Now, let me paint a scenario for you. If any Emiya whatsoever were to cast a reality marble, and then Shiki decides to kill the nature around him, how is he going to keep casting a marble? He's literally pulling energy from the earth to keep casting it. If he kills nature itself, he has no energy to pull from, which means he would destroy the reality marble by default. They wouldn't even have to kill it, on top of the fact that I believe that they both can kill it anyway. And this is just one circumstance, literally just one circumstance. As I mentioned before, anything that exists also has an end, and reality marbles are no different. They can die early just like everything else. It's not a matter of if they can kill them, it's a matter of when. If they will be able to interpret their reality marble from the jump is more so the conversation. Given how clever they both are, whatever UB-Dub they're going against, that Emiya doesn't have much time, and that's if they don't already understand it from the beginning, because UB-Dub isn't a complex reality marble. It's not known for its complexity. There's reality marbles that's way more complex than UB-Dub. It's known for its utility, and honestly, it's really not even a matter of they. It's really just Tono that has to figure it out, because Ryogi has precognition. She has future sight, so she would have figured it out anyway, even in her base form. Then we go over to Ryogi. First and foremost, Ryogi literally has a blade that's meant to cut through bounded fields. A reality marble is just a powerful bounded field. So depending on what form she comes in, she can cut it with that. If you account for what happened to the blade in the story, again, the same way that she was able to dissect Sora and Arya's reality marble and overcome him after a certain amount of time, she could kill it that way. And this is before you even get to Void. I don't even want to go there because that's just cheating. Yo, honestly, I think if you try to cast a reality marble around Void Shiki, it would be like the lights going off. Like, he'd try to cast it and then they wonder why everything would be getting so dark all of a sudden. That's how bad it would get. I can't believe the amount of disrespect that I'm seeing on Shiki's name. I'm just astonished. I don't know if y'all think the Shikis are sweet or y'all take the mystic eyes of death for some type of a joke, but whatever the case may be, if there is a joke to be made, let me in on it, because as far as I'm concerned, this isn't even a question. So to circle back around to Nero's main question, he was asking which ability would be the first one to cancel the other one out. And I gotta be honest, UB-Dub has no way of canceling out the mystic eyes of death. The only version of Emiya that I could even entertain that being possible is Muramasa, and that's strictly because of the fact that he can cut concepts with his phantasm. But here's the problem with that. Her mystic eyes are in her head, so if you were to cut out her eyes, you would have beat her anyway. It makes no difference, so you can't even negate it. It's not like you're getting rid of some type of weapon or you're disengaging a spell, and she's not an easy opponent. They're both outright trained assassins, and to take it even further, Ryogi is a swordsman, but UB-Dub only reinforces the person that's using it. It doesn't stop the other person that they're fighting against from doing anything at all. It's not like it's rejecting magecraft or nerfing them. It's not doing that. That's not what it was made for. Really, it's a lot like the Iskander versus Gil situation, where Iskander used his reality marble. Just because he all of a sudden gained territorial advantage doesn't mean that it prohibits Gil from making a response, from using his Aya or his Gate of Babylon, unless the reality marble was constructed to be that way. So that's not even a thing. And you might be wondering, well, how could you compare Aya to Mystic Eyes when Aya is literally a weapon that was created to disrupt space? At the end of the day, all of these things are spells. Enuma Elish is a spell. The Mystic Eyes of Death, yeah, it derives from a psychic background, but it's still a continuous spell via the eye. And that's why with the nature point, Shiki can take out nature and it doesn't bother him, because that's not where he's pulling his energy from anyway. And since we brought up Iskander, I mean, if we were to use a reality marble that was actually complex, say Wallachia reality marble, whose marble was so intricate that we had an entire manga centered around it, then yeah, I can see how that would pose as an issue. But if we're talking about something as low as Unlimited Blade Works, you gotta be kidding me. In the story itself, it said under the proper circumstances that Tono could crack Lens spell that's reality marble level. That's for the complex spell. So what do you think is gonna happen to Emiya's, who's at an even lower tier? Like I showed Tono killing a man's soul and him not being able to reincarnate, and you think a reality marble would be an issue to take out a person's soul, to take out nature itself? After that, to get rid of a reality marble once again would be going backwards. Yes, reality marbles are near true magic. You think the Mystic Eyes of Death aren't? Not Nero, just anybody. The truth of the matter is, you're not the only one with good abilities, buddy. I'm sorry to break it to you. On an even playing field, the Mystic Eyes of Death would definitely have priority here. The audacity.